Hey y'all. So we're gonna shore out this week. I'm gonna see if I can make this a little bit brighter. There we are. Still talking about the shepherd and daily. I want to look at Exodus. Let's see. Okay, we read that one. 13, 17 and 18, telling us that he took them around the land of the Philistine. Look at Exodus 16. 35. And so the Lord had told them to take some of the manna and put into the Ark of the Covenant, put it into the testimony. Moses said, "This is what the Lord commands: take an omer of it, and to be kept throughout your generations, that you may see the bread which I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of Egypt." And Moses said to Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer of manna in it, and lay it up before the Lord to be kept throughout your generations." And so Aaron did as Moses commanded. And verse 35 says, "And the Israelites ate manna 40 years until they came into a habitable land. They ate the manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan." Now there's a lot in that. If we just Selah, Holy Spirit, show us what you want us to see out of this verse. So the Israelites ate manna for 40 years. That's a long time. Not one day in 40 years. So I did have a calculator up here, but 40 times 365 plus 10, right, for leap years. 40 years, not one day did he fail them. Not one day did they go without food. Not one day did they have to wonder if the Lord was going to feed them. Just think about that. For 40 years, they ate manna, supernatural provision, until they came to a habitable land, until they came to the place where they could plant and farm and tend and raise their own food, again, under the direction of the Lord. But he took care of them every day that it was needed until they came to the place where they could put down roots. Again, seasons, sometimes they feel very long. But regardless of the length of the season, his provision is not challenged. It's not short. It's not running low. He's not going to have to withdraw and recharge every single day. And if we go to Exodus 29:5, oh, that's not it. Oh. I'll have to go back and check my reference because that's not the one. But the verse says that their clothes and their shoes did not wear out. It's not Exodus. Oh, it's Deuteronomy. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It's like I read it and wrote it down. Deuteronomy 29:5. And it says, "I have led you 40 years in the wilderness, and your clothes have not worn out upon you, and your sandals have not worn off of your feet." He says, "You have not eaten grain bread, nor have you drunk wine or strong drink, that you may recognize and know your dependence on him who says, I am the Lord your God." What a miracle. I mean, for so many reasons, but in 40 years, don't you think people change sizes and shapes? But it says, "Your clothes have not worn out upon you, and your sandals have not worn off of your feet." That is supernatural provision. Caring about everything. We'll close with this verse from Hebrews chapter 3. And next week, we'll probably dig into this just a little bit because there's a lot of meat in this little bitty verse. The Hebrews 3:8. It says, "Do not harden your hearts, as happened in the rebellion of Israel and their provocation and embitterment of me in the day of testing in the wilderness, where your fathers tried my patience, and they tested my forbearance, and they found that I stood their test, and they saw my works for 40 years." So a lot of times we like to talk about our testing, but this is that the Israelites tested God for 40 years, and he proved himself, his faithfulness to provide for them, to care for them, and to watch over them. You have a good shepherd, and he will not miss one piece concerning you. We'll pick up here next week. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.